shine your light into this world. It's your morning marijuana motivation time. I'm your host with the Moses Marky Saint. This is Saint's Addiction. I'm addicted to this blessed life. I'm addicted to walking in the morning. And even though it's nice and chippy this morning, I'm gonna get going. You're on the job with me. Let's go. Woo. Yes, blessed. Getting the mind right, getting the stress out. That's what we do in the morning. Get our minds right, and our stress leaves us. Welcome to Morning Marijuana Motivation. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Marky Saint. And every morning I get up, and I am blessed to be alive. Whew. So are you. Let's get these hips going this morning. Let's get this breath going this morning. Whew. Yes. Bless. Trying to talk and run at the same time. Whew. Shit. It's so blessing to breathe. We have no idea how many things have been granted us these blessings. You know, life comes at us so fast. Days go by so quickly. I walk in this park every morning, and even now, it just looks different. Every day is different. The birds are different. The color of the grass is different. The sun's position is different. And in this difference, we have an opportunity to make a difference in our own lives. We are choosing to communicate with suffering. And it's something that I've been learning about communication. What's his name? Not Tenochtitlan. That's the lake in Mexico. But Thich Nhat, a Vietnamese philosopher. It's called communication. And this is what's called amplitude. CBD and Delta 8. I'm not even smoking THC this morning. Believe it or not. I'm not running away from my thoughts. I'm sitting well with them. This is something I've been learning from this communication class. It's probably 8 hours. I crammed the 10-hour, and I highly recommend 48 Laws of Power. And that way you can tell what you have power over and who has power over you. I crammed that about 3 different times. Very interesting, very Machiavellian. There's a lot of manipulation in that one, but for those that want to play the power game, I suggest for gain power. Everybody wants more power, but power over self. That's the real question. Do you have power over your own self to will yourself away from negative ideas, negative thoughts, destructive patterns? A lot of us say that, but we continue on our destructive patterns. We're addicted to our habits. And that's why I called it Saint's Addiction, because I knew that the addiction was real. I knew that I would chase things. Like we are literally doing it to ourselves, right? We'll do flipping through social media and getting jealous and watching everybody else's progress or filtered progress and look at it as if it's our own or not our own. And I started finding it. I'll flip through Facebook and I'm like, oop, that didn't make me feel good. That's the time to get off of it. Can you imagine the amount of power we have when we actually control ourselves and catch ourselves before we get depressed? Oh, I wish I had children too. Swipe, I'm off Facebook. Oh, I wish I had more money. Swipe, I'm off Instagram. Oh, I wish I had a relationship. Swipe, no more Twitter, right? We're constantly comparing ourselves, and we're the only ones allowing ourselves to stay on these devices, right? Almost uncontrollably. We're on the case where this thing's telling us what to do, and even though we're free spirits, we haven't made a free decision. That was what I got out of communicating without suffering. You know, there's a lot of suffering coming from these ideas, these the stimulus, the TV shows and all that comes out of it. Oh shit, get that pump. Fucking dope. cleaning it out. I see some plastic. We're going to have to go chase it down another time. Whew. Ooh, that's stinky. Whew. Ha! Got you. Plastic pocket challenge. And then part of the challenge, look around, in less than 10 yards, there's another trash can. So the idea is to be in some semblance of control over your life, right? To find it within oneself. This is something that not everybody has the ability to do. Emotions are very, so are our minds. If we were under the siege, like I talked about yesterday, this chemical warfare, then you will be at war most of the time in your brain. And the only relief from the pain are these numbers, the silent hours sipped away from social media flipping. We did it to ourselves. The angers and the resentments still there. That's not communicating without suffering. A lot of us are communicating because we are suffering. I mean, I'm calling it Saints Addiction for a reason. You know, the mistakes, the trauma, the stress has us going back to addictions. That was the only comfort we know. People forget. You wouldn't be doing drugs if you had strong family ties. You wouldn't be doing harmful activities if you had positive activities. These things are true. You know, people looking around, how'd you end up doing it? I was bored. Okay. I was lonely. That's one of the HALT systems. Are you lonely? You know, that's one of the silent sufferings of our time. And I'll talk about that next morning, marijuana motivation. But listening to the Tenochtitlan, I'm saying it wrong, however you say his name, you know, that's what we do. We suffer, and we believe in suffering, and we believe in punishment, and we continue on with this path. To believe in punishment, that people deserve to be more bitch whipped after their mistake, means that you also believe in suffering, right? And then as long as you're okay, but other people are suffering, something's not okay. Just like Martin Luther King Jr. said, an injustice anywhere is a justice everywhere. It's there. Our suffering is in each of us. One of us has this whole mistake-riddled past that haunts their souls. Each one of us has a future untold. But that meantime, that power of now, that's what we're talking about this morning. That power for us to harness our chi and get control over our minds and our lives. Been talking about it all week, about this decision, you know, to share my education instead of my suffering. That's what I'm doing. I could go on and on, bitch, about all the things that have hurt me. I don't even know how this made it here. Like, this is a whole nother level of trash, y'all. Whole nother level of trash. And the hurt inside, it hasn't made me feel any better. It hasn't made anyone else feel any better. You know, I think there are going to be some mornings where they're tear-filled and you look at life. It's your Monday morning marijuana motivation. There's 4 M's. The morning motivation isn't easy. You know, you're going to come up against something inside your head and your heart, and you're going to still go back to that same habit. That's what happens to us. We do that kind of stuff. You know, and for the once to get control over our own minds, to get a chance to have a healthy thought, to communicate without suffering, to not talk to people while we're suffering, to talk to people that are suffering in a certain manner. I don't mean don't talk. I'm saying don't talk crazy to somebody that's going through it. Help them. Help them ease their suffering when you're communicating with them. If you have that inside of you, oh, what a Merry Christmas we'd all have. You know, this sun is shiny, but you will be even more shinier than the sun the moment you take away someone's suffering. So think of that. Think of that the next time you speak. Think about every time you talk to somebody, did you talk with them with love? Did you talk with them with honor? Did you talk with them with the intent for them to ease suffering? That you wanted to take it away instead of add it? And that's why I'm crying this morning. I've added suffering to people's lives. I too have been frustrated and angry and thought that by intimidation I could control and fear-based activities, and it brought the worst out in me. I'm gonna give you another 5 minutes to shine because I'm still walking this morning. Marijuana motivation time. When I'm doing this from my heart from the start, you see the tears. It's not easy to smile when things have happened to us. The life is so not fair, and when we come from that position, when we talk about, come on, glasses, get up and hoodie stay on. When we talk about suffering, we can tell that each individual in this world has something that they're suffering from. They might put on the mask well, and they might cover it up, but it's something that's egalitarian about us. We're equal. We're able to, or not all equal, but it's equal amongst us, the suffering. It's not like one person gets to go through life without making mistakes. Learning from other people, learning from books, learning from our mistakes is so crucial. It's like leapfrogging, the generations without repeating the same mistakes and doing it over. And what I was learning about the communication is that's what we're doing. We are unlearning the suffering from our families. We are unlearning generational curses. These things haven't been learned by my father, my grandfather, and I've inherited the angst and the anger. It has come to me to learn how to communicate. It's come to me to learn how to fix this suffering and find healing where everything else has been hurting. It's such a paradigm shift for all of us to be able to go inside of ourselves and start having the conversations with ourselves, to put the phone down. I mean, that's what we're really in fear of, right? Like, we have to talk to ourselves. We have to listen to ourselves, and that voice may be too scary. Our consciousness is so strong, and yet we'd rather hand it to Netflix and go like, oh, please, just keep me numb. Man, feel it. I'm telling you, get out here in the cold, windy chill, feel it. It makes you feel alive. I see all my crazy Finland friends jumping from sauna to the fucking cold Bering Sea. It's not for me, but they're alive. And that's what we want to feel, right? Don't we want to feel alive? Don't we want to feel alive in our lives? And that's something that I think a lot of people have numbed out. It's hard to have that communication with yourselves. Hell, it's hard to have communication with your parents. And that's what I'm asking you to do, to end generational curses, to have that conversation with yourself and your past. It's a sit down. And most people, when they sit down, they'll eat even though they're not hungry. They'll complain even though nothing's wrong. And they'll destroy their blessings every day, this life, this shine, by numbing it away. And I didn't want that to happen anymore. So I wanted to reach out today, say, you can get on YouTube too. If I had an assistant, I would ask them to put it below, the YouTube video of this guy speaking about communication. But what I heard the most about it yesterday, and I'll give you this last minute of shine, was to communicate without suffering. If you can talk to somebody without trying to hurt their feelings or make them match your hurt, right? Like, I'm hurt inside, so I need you to hurt inside, right? As long as we can stop sharing the hurt, and when we can stop sharing the suffering, then we can start sharing the healing. Then we can start having that real conversations with ourselves that we know that we can be better people. That's what saints do. We light up the world, and we find solutions, and we find our halo, and we turn it on and we wear it. And next time you're getting to talk to someone and you got the opportunity to do so, make sure your halo is on. Make sure your suffering is off. And make sure you try to turn their suffering off too. And watch your life transform. I'm going to keep practicing this. It's a very powerful message this morning. I hope you're blessed and not stressed. Blessed over stressed over here at Saints Anarchy, and all my heart from the start. It's your boy Marky Saint. Everything I do goes to Saints Giving, and you can be a saint too by giving. Go to Saints Giving, give it a like, share, follow, tell your friends. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace and love. And as always, Chigathon. That means goodbye, but not forever and finish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, and subscribe. Ciao. Good morning.